Good evening. Got the usual one in and stayed and then leaves. Only this time they stayed a little bit longer than their usual 3 seconds. I got one come back again. How you doing this evening? Yeah, they left too. I always get that with every live. Somebody will come in and be there for a few seconds, not say a word, and then leave. Now I've got person number 3. Even got a thumbs up out of that one. But nobody's saying anything tonight. Now they're gone. Now somebody's back. Now they're gone. Hey, Josh. I've had 5 people come in and out so far since I started. You're the only one that said anything. Oh, I haven't been doing too much of anything all this past week and a half. I've been fighting with a sinus cold. If I sit and talk very long, then I start choking. I haven't even done anything around the house to speak of. Oh, you did yet? Okay. Well, like I said, I've had 5, 6, 7 people so far have came in, but you're the only one that said anything. The rest have all been here for just a few seconds and they leave. No, I haven't done anything Christmas wise in quite a few years. I mean, with just me being here, I don't do anything for myself. So if I had somebody here, or like before when I was married, the kids around, whatever, we did all the decorations and whatnot. But I don't do it for just me. Hey, IJ. Well, I sent you an email earlier today, IJ, asking the same thing. I hadn't heard from you in a while. Now there's two of you here, but it only shows one being in the chat. YouTube is just messing up all around, I think. Yeah, it's probably all of that hair salon stuff and whatnot, IJ. Wore you out getting beautiful. You keep missing hers or mine? Because I've only done one in the last week and a half. Yeah, I can understand that. That's why, like when I was married, I always hated to go shopping with her. I don't like going shopping myself, but when I go, grocery shopping or whatever alone, I just go in and get what I want and leave. I just have no desire to spend time wandering around stores and whatnot anymore. I used to like going to places years back, like Sears or whatever, and just go to the auto department and look around. $200. The hell she buy? Yeah, she's been doing a lot of late night ones lately there, Josh. And some others that I used to try to hit all the time, they've been doing theirs too early before I get up in the morning. So I've missed a lot of lives lately. Hey, JB. She planning on a Christmas party or something, IJ, or is that her normal stocking of booze? That's something I haven't bought in years, is any type of liquor or anything like that. Is that an indication he drinks a lot? I guess a lot of that stuff I just kind of got away from as I got older. Years back, I used to get pretty much, kind of, I guess you could say, drank my share, but I just don't do it anymore. Yeah. And how much of it will you drink? I can't serve it tonight, JB. I already ate. That's leftover chicken. I gotta get one. I've got 2 turkeys in the freezer. I just gotta get one of you girls to come cook them. You don't drink any more. You don't drink any less. Or was that the case of the last time you drank, you woke up married? Hey, Sammy, you feeling any better? Yeah, I don't even know who all's in here. Not everybody's talking. And I've had, I think, 6 other people that have came in and left. Yeah, well, see, that's the way mine was. I was sick that way for right now. It's about a week and a half. I'm still not completely over it. Hey, I don't want it. You can have it back. I mean, last week, I mean, I was continuous blowing my nose and coughing and sneezing and whatnot. This week, it's not quite so bad, but yeah, JB don't like me. She just comes to aggravate me. Okay, Josh, you just have to share your winnings with us. Mhm. 4 people there talking, but it only shows 3 in the chat. Okay, Sammy, take care of yourself so you can get over that cold. It'll wear you out before you get rid of it. I know mine did. And if you're playing with your wife, that means you're not going to win tonight then. You'll have to let her win just to keep her happy. How's your weather up there, IJ? It's cooled off here this week. Last night I had a low of 48 this morning. I think it only get up around 60 today. 26. It's 49 here right now. Yep, you got it, Josh. Hey, Joy. How you doing this morning? Yeah, it's supposed to be in the 40s, upper 40s all this week at night. It's only get up to around 70 for the daytime. I'm doing better, Joy. I still got some of this cold. Haven't got rid of it yet, but I'm better than what I was last week. I talked with Ivy for a little bit earlier this evening. She did a short live. Her family's out trying to get water and whatnot. Oh, did you? She's a good kid. I like her. Did you tell her I sent you there? Yeah, she's only 30, 31, I think. I'm drinking iced tea instead of hot tea. I think her husband, Patrick, just turned 58. And her daughter, Joy, is maybe 13. Yeah, she does, especially when she's in the truck. A lot of people look twice at her because she's so small. She's just 5 foot tall. And that's why I said the other night there about, she's got the pillows and stuff in the truck, so she's up where she can reach the pedals and stuff, and then puts the seat all the way forward. But her and Patrick are running their own trucks now, and they're running flatbed. She used to work. They used to drive team together with R&L out of the Ohio terminal, and they were pulling double trailers there. They ran back and forth every week from Ohio to Connecticut. Well, her videos cover a little bit of everything. I mean, most of them are them on the road, but whenever they're at home, they do videos, or live streams rather, at home, especially Christmas and Thanksgiving, stuff like that, where all the families together and they have a big party, family party and whatnot. Last year they had, I guess it was Christmas parties at several of the other Filipino friends' homes and stuff around the Ohio area where they live. So you get to meet a bunch of the others that live in that area. Christmas vacation in another province. You're still in Thailand, though, aren't you? He's a character. They lived in the Philippines for a while. I don't remember exactly where their place is. I mean, I know, but I don't remember. I talked to too many people and I forget. But they even had a pig farm they were running there for when they were there. Okay. I didn't think you, when you said province, I didn't know if you got back to the Philippines. Well, you have a Merry Christmas too, and hopefully, we'll talk again soon. Yeah, Patrick's your husband. And then Corey is Patrick's son. His wife is Rona, Rona. She's also Filipino, and she's just either 1 or 2 years younger than Jonah. And they both knew each other in the Philippines. And then there's another boy. Damn, I can't think of his name now. She is right now. But before they were together, because I mean him and her both drive. So while one's driving, the other sleeps. When they worked for R&L, that's when they pulled double trailers and they both drove. And then when they started their own business there with their own trucks, she was in one truck and he was in another truck. And now she's back in the truck with him again. They keep hiring more drivers, so they're doing it that way. And then when Patrick was in one truck and Jonah was in the other, Patrick had his daughter Becca in the truck with him, and he was training her. And Jonah had Rona, her daughter-in-law, in the truck with her and training her. Now Becca's got her own truck, and she's running solo by herself. Her channel name is Big Rig Becca. And then Rona, once she got done with her training there with Jonah, she's back now riding with her husband Corey, and they drive team. So doing it that way, when one sleeps, the other drives. But you put her in a truck like that, and she looks like a little kid sitting there, if you see her in the truck window. Yeah, some companies allow a spouse to ride with them. Some allow family members to ride with them. Others are a little bit more lenient, let a girlfriend or whatever. And there's some that won't have any riders. There's another driver I used to talk with a lot out in Montana. His daughter used to ride with him a lot, during summer break and stuff like that from school. There's another couple up in Pennsylvania, Mike and May. Uh, May rides with Mike all the time. She doesn't drive, but she helps him as far as strapping the loads down and doing all that stuff. They have YouTube channels also. Then there's another couple out in Texas. Um, I'm blanked what her channel name is now, but she used to ride with him all the time while he drove. She didn't drive, and she always helped him, with the strapping and chaining stuff down and whatnot too. But she's home now because she just had a baby, so she's not on the road with him right now. She misses being on the road, but being a new mom is a full-time job. And there's a couple other Filipinas that I think drive solo by themselves. I don't follow their channels, but I hear about them every once in a while. There used to be another couple that used to come to Jonah's live streams all the time. Him and her both drove. I think they were out of California or someplace. And I'm guessing they were Hispanic. Really nice couple, young couple. But they got into a real bad head-on accident with their tractor trailer here quite a while back and went off the road for a while, and I haven't heard from them in a long time. So I don't know what's going on with them. Yeah, there are. I think you've seen Ken Unger that comes into my lives once in a while. He's got a LDR Filipina that she's down in Mindanao. His brother Jim, also in Ohio, drives truck for R&L that Jonah and Patrick used to drive for, and he's married to a Filipina. Yeah, if you like being on the road, trucking's a good job. I miss it. Right now for me, I mean, I couldn't do it because of all the cats. If I didn't have them, I'd like to go back on the road. It would cost so much to get started again. Just insurance is high. And now the price of fuel is going up. Because even like you've seen pictures there of my truck, just that truck, which the semi's a lot heavier, so the tag goes more. But just the tag for my semi or for my truck right now, to put it back on the road would be $500. Just to put the tag back on it. Well, I used to say that too when I was working. But, like I said, being on the road, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the travel. I enjoyed just going places, talking to people, different people all the time. And I'm just, I'm a gabby person. Anywhere I go, I can find somebody to talk to. I've just got a lot of my grandfather in me, I think. I used to say my grandfather never met a stranger. Well, I just miss the travel, and like I say, and seeing other people, and being on the road like that. You get to see stuff everywhere you go, and even when I run the same routes over and over, sometimes you see something you didn't see before, or you get where you're driving down the road and then think, well, just around this corner here and up over the hill there, on such and such, there's a certain thing or whatever. You kind of get used to where stuff's at and remember it and know where you're at all the time by that. Even like with the truck stops, You get to know which ones you kind of like and which ones you don't like. Like when I ran to New York, I always had a couple of them that I made a point of going north. Every trip going up, I used to stop at the one just north of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. It's a petrol station, and when you get off Interstate 81, you had to get off like this on the right side, loop around, go underneath the interstate, and go way back across and up on a hill where you're up on top of the mountain like there, looking back down over everything. And that's when I stayed at every time I went north. Yeah, I can understand that because I mean, you're in a pretty populated area where there's a lot of stuff at. And when I got into New York, there was another truck stop I used to stop at every time going up, just because that was cheapest fuel up there when I got there. Now, when you say New York walks, you're talking New York City, or is he out elsewhere in the state? I've never been in New York City. I could have picked up a lot of loads or taken a lot of loads to New York City, but I always turned them down. They paid better money than the others I was doing, but I just avoided New York City and I avoided Miami. Yeah, I would like to go to New York City sometime just to see stuff like the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that, but I've never been there. Black and Shadow. That's funny you say that because my business name for my trucking was Black Shadow Transport. I came up with that name with my cat that used to ride with me in the truck. His name was Shadow and he was black. Yeah, Josh is back. He must have lost all of his money. Is that how much you had to pay her so far? I guess that means next week you'll be working two jobs. JB didn't stay long. Sammy left. She said she was going to fix breakfast. Now, JB had the kids yesterday morning. Maybe they're out of school for Christmas now, too. I see the kids across the road this morning were home, so I don't know whether they just didn't go to school or if they're out for Christmas already. You guys eat late up there like I do all the time. I eat too many of my meals real late. Yeah, Josh, I'm not sure if that was a misprint, whether she meant burger or bourbon. And tonight I fixed some leftover chicken that I had, some leftover red beans and rice, and I already had some leftover pork and beans in the refrigerator. That's what I had for supper. Yeah, that'll make good driving in the morning. I used to get out and walk all the time, but I don't do it anymore, and I should. In fact, I used to just 6 days a week would walk the mailbox and back, which round trip, that's 1 mile. But after I went and broke my heel there a couple of years ago and couldn't do it, I got lazy and I don't do it now. I might check my mail once a week now. I'll go down the mailbox and there'll be stack full of mail. Most of it's junk mail, but and IJ, you're not old enough yet to have your bones falling apart. I still need to get out and get a bunch of my firewood and stuff out here I've got brought in. Still got to block it up and split it yet. Get it put in the woodshed. Some days I just don't seem to get any ambition to do stuff. No, I said it's supposed to be in the high 40s all this week. Tonight's supposed to only be 42. And the high tomorrow 70. Yeah, well, you notice she already has problems keeping up with Lola when they go out for a walk. IJ's always dragging way behind her. Hey, Mike. How you doing tonight? Are you at home or on the road? Seems like a lot of the comments come in slow tonight. My last live stream I did the other day says it only has 3 comments since the video was done, but only one of them shows up. So I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I've had several of my live streams that comments aren't showing up. South of Dallas. You gonna run all the way home from Dallas empty? Damn. What are they doing? Everybody just shutting down early for Christmas? You leaving us, IJ? Josh, Mike has a Kenworth long nose. When are you going to clean up my place? I've got a lot around here needs cleaned up too. Good night, IJ. I never thought about that, Mike, before, but with the long nose on that one and that size sleeper, must give you pretty good length on the wheelbase too. Okay. With it being square on the front makes it look like it's longer. My neighbor across the road there been bouncing around back and forth in 2020 and 2021 Freightliners. And I don't know what the hell happens with him. Every time you turn around, he's got a different truck. And the one he's got now, I think, is a 2015 Peterbilt. But it seems like every time he comes home, he's in something different and then complains he spent, so many days sitting in a truck stop or sitting at the repair shop or whatever. Okay. All the Freightliners and stuff he was running were the mid roofs, and this Pete that he's got now is the high top. Yeah, the longer they are, the harder they are for backing up, but they ride better. Also gives you more room to spread your weight out there and let you carry a little bit more too. Hmm. I hadn't heard that, Josh. Which would be good in some cases. Yeah, Mike, my neighbor across the road, he got in sometime this morning. I don't know when it was. That so I don't know whether he's just here for his 34 or if he's in already for a long weekend for Christmas. Well, I've always wondered that too, Mike, and I've heard some drivers complain about it, but I don't have no specifics on how it is. And some have really complained about it when you're trying to pull a hill or something and you get a car that passes you and pulls right in front on you, then it kicks it down on you, then you got to turn around and try to get speed back up again to get up the hill. But the ABS braking now, they've even got that on most of your new trailers too. Well, one of the other things I've heard some drivers complain about, Mike, too, with that, I can't think what they call it, but what you're talking about there, that on the front end that makes your brakes come on when somebody pulls in front of you. They said in the wintertime, if that gets covered up with ice, it disengages your cruise, so you can't use it unless you go clean that thing off. Yeah, that just means all the guys in the warehouses and stuff, and the brokers or whatever, are just taking off early for Christmas. And depending on the type of stuff you're hauling, some of that you would think there'd be a lot more loads going now because of Christmas. Yeah, something like that. It'll be something that in time will end up coming out on all of them. The government will stick their nose into it and say it's required. Yeah, just another electronic thing that can have something go wrong with it. 'Cause that's all the ABS is another electronic control that's supposed to keep the brakes from locking up. She's going to town again, shopping again. I went to Marines Live the other night, but she kind of got off topic a little bit there with her conversation. So has she put her trip to Baguio on hold now, being she's sick? Yeah. Well, that's one of the other things that they were talking about here. I don't remember now just when it was. I guess while Trump was still in office, that they were going to do away with the DEF system on the trucks, but I haven't heard no more on that in a while because all they've done is have problems with that ever since they put it on. They have so much mechanical problems with it, as far as functioning. And then the northern trucks and stuff like that, you're fighting with it, keep it from freezing up on you. And the northern truck stops, their pumps freeze up from it. That was one of the things I liked about my truck when I was on the road. I mean, it was old enough that I didn't have DEF in it. I didn't have to use the ELD. Only 1,200 more to go, huh? Well, if you run it empty, you'll get better fuel mileage, as long as you don't get a bunch of crosswind. But 1,200 miles, that's another 2 days travel. Well, I think even a lot of your cars are going to start switching to that too. My sister and brother-in-law recently traded off their. They had I can't think what it was called now. It's one of the Nissans SUV, but they traded it off and got one of those little gas electric cars. I was talking with her earlier tonight. They're up in northern New York, and they really like it because, I mean, he retired this past year. She said they get 108 miles to the gallon with it. No, I take that back. 180 miles to the gallon. She said they have got 197. And now with the cold weather, it's dropped down to 170 something. Yeah, I forgot about her birthday. She hear from the kids. Well, that was kind of what I got out of part of the conversation the other night. But like I say, she got sidetracked on some of the other stuff that she was upset about, and so I didn't catch it all. Arena made comment the other day there that when she goes to pick her up, she was also going to go by and see the kids. Now that guy that's driving her, he's going to take and run her around and stuff like that while she's over there, and sit and wait for her while she's in with the girls. I watched a video there that Filipina P did just a couple days ago because she went back into Cebu. I guess that's where family's from or whatever. But she flew down, and she said she was surprised because the flight she was on maybe had 20 passengers is all that was on it. She said the Cebu airport is still functioning, but it's got a lot of structure damage and stuff from the typhoon. And what she showed in her video, the front canopy and all that stuff, a lot of it was the roof and everything was tore off from it. Yeah. Okay. Catch you later. I may go ahead and end this anyways because everybody's getting busy and stuff. Josh, you still there? Uh, well, all I was doing was hollering at you, let you know I'm gonna I think go ahead and end this because Mike had to go, IJ's gone. I think JB left, Joy left. Sammy said she was in the background, but she's busy with other stuff. And if, and if I sit here and keep talking too long, I'm going to start coughing again. So thanks everybody for coming by, and I will talk with you next time.